Hello and welcome to the Berkcast, the How to Train Dragon podcast. I'm your host HC, and with me are
Rush 2112.
And Wolf.
And guys, can you feel the hype? The hype is real because next week another season of Race to the Edge, season 5 to be more exact, is going to be on Netflix, and we will do our best to review it next week. Same Berkcast time, same Berkcast YouTube channel, I suppose. But before this, the kind folks at DreamWorks Animation were nice enough to release a trailer for the next season, and of course, being us, we are going to talk about it because hey, if we can talk about the leak trailer for about an hour, we can talk about an official trailer.
That is 1 minute and 30 seconds long.
Yes. Actually, the leaked trailer actually got an official release, I think, but there's nothing new about it, so we're just going to focus on this new one. Which debuted yesterday, as of this recording. But anyway, so the new trailer. One thing I noticed about this one, and I went back to other season trailers in order to prove my point. This trailer is really hyping this season up. I mean, the other trailers were like the Hiccup and Toothless are back, and they have more adventures, and like the trailer for the last season was also a bit bigger and a bit more. Oh my God! Look at all these things that are going on. But this one really had that, like that epic text, that music, and this entire shit's going down vibe. And they market like all the surprises and revelations. I'm like, damn, and, like they're really hyping this up. Like if you change the models to the How to Train Dragon 2 models and upped the animation quality to match the movies, I would have said this was like the trailer for the third movie, if you know what I mean.
Maybe. There's still too many, like, I guess, I don't know. I mean, if you say it would be the third movie, it'd be...
No, I'm not saying... No. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this will be the advertisement, but I mean, they market it like it's the next big thing in this franchise. So, You know what? You know what I mean. It's not How to Train Dragon 3, but they make it look like it. Like it's the next. It's like the next best thing to come out of this franchise. Which in some respects it is.
Yeah, I would agree. It definitely feels a lot more action-packed this time around.
Yeah.
Like they're really putting a lot more oomph into it, I guess you would say.
I like it. I think this season, just before we even talk about it, I think this season's going to be really good.
Well, trailers are supposed to hype you up. We can't really know until.
Well, that being said,
it.
But like you said, I agree with you. This trailer or this teaser has been probably one of the most interesting out of them all. And
and they also ended with fish legs. Like, you may now applaud. Like, they know they made something great here.
Okay.
They're
hold on.
proud.
We're gonna get to that later. Like I sent you messages before. I have my whole as Dagger said in The Night and the Fury. I'm getting all tingly with predictions. To misquote him, I should say.
It warms the cannonballs of my heart.
Anyway.
Well, jumping into the trailer.
Yeah.
Wolf, you want to say anything, Wolf, about the tone of it? Or
no, I mean, I agree with both of you. It's definitely, like I said before, it's action-packed, and I'm very interested to see where this season goes and what they do with it.
Okay. So in terms of the plot, with the exception of the erupting volcano, which Rush is probably dying to find out where this is going, based on...
Something I would like to talk, like I brought this up with you, HC, when we were, before the show started.
Yeah.
I want to bring up this new island, or at least what looks like a new island that
Oh
we
yeah,
haven't
right.
been to
The,
before. Like it's very much at the beginning of the trailer, and I want to bring this up because the only island I think that even looks remotely like this, I would say, or
Berk.
similar in any major way is Berk's one, but this feels too small. I want to think this is Berserker Island.
You mean Outcast Island?
No,
Berserker Island
Berserkers.
does not have this
Berserker.
much screen on it. Trust me.
No, it doesn't. But the the tallest peak thing looks very similar to Berserker Island. I want to think so.
But Berserker Island was like had a huge cliff
It
on it.
did.
That doesn't look like if
It
they redid
did.
the
I
model.
know.
or maybe
But-
it's a new island, dude, which we will
It could be a new
explore.
island. It could be a new island. The reason I say Berserker Island is one, because the tallest peak looks similar to the one time we've seen Berserker Island, and that was very far away. And also, there was, they would probably low budget that
No.
since we're getting an up close view. I figure they might add more to it. It's possible,
You
though
said
this could be a
Outcast
new island
Island.
as well. No, Berserker Island.
You said Outcast at the very beginning.
I meant Berserker Island.
Yeah,
sorry.
that's why I said you mean Berserker Island.
Yeah. But in
But-
terms of Berserker, Hiccup actually has a line where he refers to the Berserkers, and you can tell he says it in like a hint we can ask for help from Dagger and Heather, so maybe we will see it. I don't know if that's the island, but it is a possibility.
I mean, it's not an island that we've seen yet, but we have seen and heard of a lot of the Berserkers, so it would be interesting to get to see their island at the very least.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
So
not just
anyway-
from possibly far away and saying, well, Berserker Island looks okay, no need to go there.
Yeah.
You mean like Astrid's parents?
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, joking aside, so it seems like the Dragon Hunters are still around despite some events which took place in the
Previous season.
in the previous season, and now they seem to be led by the hooded man. What's his name again?
Krogan.
Krogan.
Krogan. Okay. So he's supposedly the leader, the new villain, and anyone else thinks he sounds a bit similar to Drago with this like low, grouchy voice.
Yeah.
I think that may be part of the point, but then again, I think that's just what they decided to go for. I mean, it would be
I mean, if you're a villain, your voice has to be deep, gravelly, or both, and he is both. You have
well, I mean,
you have Vigo, who was melodious and smooth, and then you had Riker, who was deep and gravelly as well. So why not have another one?
we had
And then you
Alvin,
had-
who was,
Super gravelly. Thank
Yeah.
you, Mark Hamill.
and then we had
No,
and
no.
Mildew as well,
and
who was
then-
also.
No, and then
Yeah.
and then we had Helvin. He sounded like the Joker. There you go. That's how you should say
That's
it.
true.
So it makes sense that
And-
they would try and go for something a bit different after Vigo and Riker, someone who's much more deep than
Yeah.
anything else.
And also, it does seem like now that he's in the Hunters, could he possibly seek revenge for Vigo and Riker? Like, after all,
No,
Yeah.
I mean that they betrayed him, and I think he's gonna keep that in mind.
or maybe now that they're dead, he's trying to show that he's better than them. And the way to show it is to, or maybe the writers are just annoying him and he wants
mean-
to get rid of them.
Probably the number. Yeah, right.
It's still a business.
I suppose if we go along the idea that Krogan is, related to Drago in some way, then a quick assumption would be, again, if you think of this all as a business, in which I feel that it is, Krogan has taken over in order to get things back on track for what Drago needs, for his purposes and all
Yeah.
that. And
They're
Krogan has
brothers.
taken over.
He'll stop selling dragons. He'll just capture them, and no, they are not brothers.
No.
Yeah, I was joking because people will draw these connections.
Somehow they're family and somehow they're related because they have to be. But
Or my
No, I mean-
favorite. He's just Drago before he lost his arm. It's like, what? Excuse me?
Yeah.
Hold the phone.
I listened to episode we did about season 3 of Race to the Edge, and we actually mentioned that, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's funny. And when I was actually wrong to assume that he was Valka. But then again, I was just joking.
But we still have another season after this one potentially, so you never know. You could be right.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, one point I want to bring up: there's a scene in the trailer where we see Snotnut on the edge, and there's fire in the background. And I don't remember the exact line, but he says like, "Look at what they've done to the place. Look at them, like they're attacking us." So it seems that all the fire on Dragon's Edge is not necessarily the volcano erupting. It could also be the hunters attacking.
Well, yeah. So hold on. Sorry, Wolf. I want to say this real quick, but I feel like there's going to be two separate Edge on fire occasions. We have several scenes. I know. It's not how to shoot
more than
a
what we've
dragon if
already
something's
had.
not on fire. Exactly right.
No.
So
No. At the ending of Test Driving, the first movie, like when Hiccup and Toothless are managed to navigate through all the rocks, and Hiccup is like, yeah, and then Toothless shoots the plasma blast, and is like, come on. So they managed to put out one fire. Yeah, the hunter's attacking. Oh, come on.
yeah. So I think
That's
so.
automatic.
We see plenty of scenes where there's actual legitimate lava from the mountain, and they're carrying like buckets or something to stop it. Then there's different scenes where there's smoke and fire elsewhere, but you don't really see lava necessarily. So I do think there's going to be two separate instances, and we obviously see Krogan and his dragon flyers, as he calls them. Is that right? He calls them dragon flyers or something like that. I don't know. Weird. Yeah, with them on the island, and they are riding on Singed Tails. So that's probably the scene that Stontloud is saying, "I can't believe they're attacking us," or something like that. So
Yeah.
Well, keep in
Actually,
mind, I think it's definitely what Snotloud's talking about is Singed Tails attacking the edge, because you can also see in this very trailer, you can see a shot of Hiccup turning around and looking back at the edge, and you can see fire and smoke rising from the edge, and where what I guess their huts are located at. So I would definitely say they're being attacked, and it looks like. Well, we'll get to that scene a little bit later on.
Yeah, but I also noticed that we see the hunters riding those dragons, but there are some scenes where it seems like they're ascending from a place that's very similar to the edge.
That's what I was getting ready to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, but here's a theory I have. After Wolf brought up the island at the beginning of the trailer. Could the island at the beginning be like sort of a new base, like kind of like the villain's edge, if you know what I mean? The villain's version of the edge, not necessarily the.
Well, let's
same.
keep in mind the riders that we see riding the Singed Tails. They're not like hunters that we've seen before. Like I don't know if you've noticed, but they have a dragon tattoo on their right arm that. I've not seen the full detail of it, but it definitely is different, and they're wearing different style of clothing, different style of helmets. When they ride the Singed Tails, they're using what I assume to be basically riding crops, and they have basically just chains around them and all that. So they're definitely different from the hunters that we're used to, who generally tend to look very big, very burly. There's a lot of berserkers mixed up in there as well. These people are very different. So maybe these are more so Krogan's men than they are Vigo or Riker's men.
Probably. Well, I still need to learn his name.
Krogan.
Krogan. Yeah, maybe he just has a different outlook on how to use dragons. Maybe. Kind of like Drago, that he doesn't appreciate them, but he uses them to get his goals. Like, so they train them, but they're not necessarily on good terms with them. Also, another thing I noticed is that there's the shot where Hiccup and some of the riders are running towards the camera. You can see Heather there. So,
Yeah.
do you think Dagger will be back as well? I mean, it's a safe assumption. We know he's alive.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Again, I would expect to see. I mean, I would expect to see him with Heather around. I would expect to see him at least in one episode, maybe.
Yeah, and do you think he will still ride Shadow Master or the new dragon? He seemed
Sluther.
to, yeah.
Who they seemingly still have forgotten the name. You know, as it's so funny, they say once when they actually first had him, they say, "Oh, he'll play a much bigger part." I mean, he still has obviously this season. He hasn't shown up to my knowledge in the fifth trailer, season 5
No.
trailer, and I mean, we still has I guess 13 more episodes.
Which is
after
actually, you said the fifth trailer, but it's actually the fourth one. Season 3 didn't have any trailers.
but there are 2 for this one.
Yeah.
Get wrecked. Anyway,
Yeah, I got wrecked.
no, you're right. But
My opinion is he might be writing Sluther this season.
yeah, poor Shadow Master. But yeah, it's possible. That'd be pretty interesting to write a triple strike.
But does the Sinjil can fly, or is it only
The
is
what?
it a land only? Like, what's the dragon's name? Sinjil.
Sluther.
Yeah.
Sluther.
Sluther's a triple strike.
I misheard you. Anyway, can he fly?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, he can fly.
How do you think they got him off the island that he was fighting?
For some reason, I believe he doesn't fly.
He
Whatever.
walked.
He's a wyvern, like Stormfly.
Yeah.
He doesn't
He can
have 4 feet,
he can walk on water. There you go.
Mhm.
just like the
I mean,
speed stingers.
Speed Stingers can. Speed Stingers evolved to be able to do it, so
Well,
maybe
it's
Sluther
not
did
really
too.
walk on water; it's run across water very fast. But I digress.
Well,
Hey, it was running very fast on water. Anyway,
Speaking of different dragons, we did meet 2 new dragons this season.
this is something
Yes.
I want to ask. Were there any new dragons? I didn't really notice.
There were
How'd you
2 that I
not
saw.
notice? Yeah, there were 2. I saw
Well,
2 as well.
Well, or maybe they just look similar to
Well,
other
we've
people.
seen-
Like there is that new one that we noticed in the clip where Hiccup is sliding. I believe we agreed that
Yes,
that's
that
a
is a
new
new
one.
one.
Yep, that's definitely a new one.
And then the
And
other.
the one with the foul joke, was that a new one?
No, that was a cinch tail.
No, that was Cinchtail.
Okay.
But
Okay.
well, if you,
Well,
you're,
technically,
it probably was.
I would say it was a Cinchtail. Technically, we did see a new. I'm going to say a new Razor Whip.
It was just a different eye
Possi-
color.
Well, it was a different scale color as well. So I'm going to say possibly male Razor
Well,
Whip.
yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. It was definitely another razor whip. I wasn't gonna.
Mhm.
When you say a different razor whip, I'm like, what does he mean?
The
by
reason
that?
I say possibly different Razor Whip because we have seen the show and the movies use very similar models for brand new dragons, even though they look extremely similar.
Well, it's probably
Case
just
in point.
another razor whip, as opposed
I
to.
assume it is, but I like to play it safe, so I'm going to say possibly a new Razor Whip. Could be a new dragon, but I'm leaning more
It
towards
looks the
Razor Whip.
exact
Okay,
same.
guys, I have a theory for an episode. Okay, hear me out. So, this new razor whip appears, and now because Heather has a razor whip, wind chill, as we all know, and Fishlegs decides that he needs this dragon as well, and when they meet a male one, he decides to tame it. But Meatlug is jealous, and now Fishlegs will have to regain Meatlug's trust. And yeah, I know it's bullshit, but would you actually be surprised if they use this kind of plot? Seriously.
Yes. I'd be surprised if they did it. They are not that. They do not do that stupid plot lines. And of course, people who are listening
may
say
I-
yes, they do because they don't
may-
like the season. Or they don't like the show or something.
Rush, may I bring back the Defenders episode, which was basically the same plot.
That is the Defenders. That is not the freaking Riders of Race to the Edge. Okay?
The Riders of Race to the Edge.
The writers, I say.
Ah, I had like the Riders of Race to the Edge sounds like.
Thank you to English, where
Yeah.
writers and writers sound the same if you just lazy
Well,
the mouth.
it's Skype. Maybe
That too.
I blame Skype.
Thank
Back
you.
to our new dragons.
Anyway,
Yeah,
yes. So back to the original point. Forgetting that weird razor whip thing, as it will be known from now on, we have that picture that was released of the dragon that looks totally badass. By the way, that on your note, Wolf, that actually does look similar to the light one. However, that one is outside, and it seems like the one
Yeah,
that
that
is
one looks a lot different though. Like it's a darker green. It has some gray on
But
it.
it looks
I mean,
like it's
it
the
looks
same head. I say. You say the same models. That one looks like it's kind of around the same. I say.
around the same size, but I would say very different in terms of looks.
But you're saying that the freaking Razor Whips is a different dragon because it looks exactly the same?
Again,
Like, come on,
I want to
man.
point out the armor wing looks exactly like a monstrous nightmare.
No, it does not. I mean, it looks the same model, but it's not that close to a monstrous nightmare.
It's very close.
But it's
in
not
my
as
opinion.
it's not as close as the Razor Whip and the quote unquote Razor Whip.
Agreed, but it's still extremely close. I would be willing to bet. I would be willing to bet right now if you took to a person who's never seen How to Train Your Dragon, put both the images of a armor wink and a monstrous nightmare side by side, they would tell you those are probably the same dragon,
If
just
the armor
different
wing has
colorations.
the armor on it, probably
If
not.
the armor wing had the armor on it, possibly not. But if it didn't, I would say they wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
But you're losing me here with that whole Razor Whip. Maybe it's a different Razor Whip thing.
Again, I
HC,
just
do you see
like
what
to
I'm
hedge
thinking
my
here?
bets.
I'm just trying to think how can I add to this discussion. you guys are holding
The
it
armor wing has
pretty well.
curlier
But
horns.
back to the two new dragons, though.
Yes, we at least agree there is at least 2 new dragons. Thank you. Well,
Yeah,
okay,
and I would
Wolf and I
say-
do agree, despite our fighting.
I would say the second one we saw, the one that doesn't seem to be have a weakness to light in some way. This one looks, like you said, very interesting, very cool.
Oh yeah.
Like probably
But we got
probably
the
one of my
image of it.
favorite designs the show has done in a while.
Yeah, we got the image
Yeah,
release
but-
of it, and my God, is it
And-
badass?
Hmm
Yep.
And I mean, you
Looks
can
nice.
see this dragon. What seems to be has something similar to the thunder drum, maybe. Whether it's a roar or whether it's just it's able to produce that amount of wind pressure with its wings. It's able
Yeah.
to knock Hiccup and Toothless back from quite a distance away.
I'm gonna take
And
a
it looks
look
like
at
this. It looks like this dragon is also a wyvern as well. So it's
Yeah, it's another wyvern.
very fun, very interesting to see. Can't wait to see more of this one.
Here you go.
Looks like we
Yeah,
might
that's-
have.
Oop.
You know, the designs are not the thing I'm most looking forward to. I'm looking forward to how do these dragons
Look at that thing.
walk,
Damn.
if you know what I mean. Like I want to see them fight. I want to see their moves.
And by the way, there's 3 of this dragon as well. So
Yeah. So if you go to you can see in the picture I just sent you guys the timestamp it's at, and yeah, so the very next second, actually the same second, different frame, there are 3 in the picture. And by the way, Wolf, yeah, I'm going through the trailer right now, and yeah, so that one, now that I watch it back again, the one that's sensitive to light looks more like a chameleon. Actually.
Yeah. And it also has 4 legs, and
Yeah.
again, I don't necessarily want to say it's sensitive to light, but it seems like its skin itself might be sensitive to light, because when we see it in the trailer, it looks like Hiccup shines the light on it, and it seems like
it
it
burns it. Hmm.
yeah, it burns its skin somewhat. So its skin itself might be sensitive to light or heat in some way, which is very odd for a dragon, to say the least. But we'll see where they're going with this. But it looks like this one also tends to collect stuff as well. And also talking about that particular new dragon, it seems like Silent Sven, if I'm not mistaken, that's the character,
Nope.
might have something to do with this one.
That is not Silent Sven. That is one of the bounty hunters from Midnight Scrum.
Might be.
It's the same model. It's definitely not Silent Sven model.
I like-
If I may go back to the entire the hunters are riding dragons and stuff. At around 43 seconds into the trailer, there's a very short clip of a hunter riding on one of the dragons, and you can notice that he's whipping it.
Yeah,
And
I brought that up. Yeah, I brought that up earlier. The
Yeah.
riding crop.
Riding crop.
yeah, so and also I'm looking at this dragon. Is it me or does it seem to have 3 wings?
That might be an animation error.
This is
Because
the best animation.
I will agree,
ever.
it does look like it's
Yeah,
What
missing a
time?
wing.
Wait, what time did you say?
43 seconds.
43 seconds.
That is a cinch tail, though, and I'm pretty sure a cinch tail is supposed to have 4 wings, so...
Yeah,
Then again,
because
that might be on purpose, too. Maybe the cinch tail only has 3 wings.
No,
Maybe.
it also looks like, so for the cinch tail, again, it could be an animation error, or it could just be, I mean, if you look, it seems like right at the last frame before it switches to hiccup and fish legs, that there is something that's not the tail on the back left. So maybe, doesn't the cinch tail has like 4 wings, but they're separated? Like they're not like the
They are,
cloud,
yeah.
they're not like they're not like Cloud Jumper, or a Storm Cutter, where it's on top of each other, but they're different in terms of, along the body. So it looks like that could be, you just can't see the 4th wing, but there is something
Could
that's
be.
separated that doesn't look like it's the tail.
maybe.
It could be the case.
Regardless. Anyway.
Okay, so now that we debated on whether or not it's an animation error or not, there's one thing and there's another thing I want to point out. Even though this is being advertised as one big war, and we agree that this is looking like a war, there are a lot of funny moments from Snotlout in this trailer.
I'm okay
So-
with that.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, no. I'm cool. I'm cool with this. You don't need. I don't need an
Excuse to laugh at Snotlout.
I don't need a reason not to laugh. If you bring humor into this, I'm cool with it. But this does bring up a question: what is the tone they're going for? Because, the entire thing is like, it's a war. They're not done. We need to do something, and then all of a sudden we have jokes. So, which
I mean-
again, don't get me wrong, it's cool, and the movies and the other seasons managed to find a great balance, in my opinion. Question is, what am I supposed to get for this season? Which direction?
I mean, that's what
what
they've done
direction
with
it's
every
going?
season, just about, though. Like, it's always... Not every season, I should say, but it's been a war for about 2, maybe 3 seasons there before, and they still had jokes in between in there as well.
No. You don't understand. Like, I mean in terms of what they're advertising. On the one hand, they're advertising a war. On the other hand, they're advertising. This is the most joke-filled trailer so far. Which, again, I know trailers doesn't really show you the final product, and I'm not saying it's bad or anything, but it does send me mixed signals about what exactly they're trying to sell this season as. Which, again, it doesn't determine the quality. It's not saying I'm not saying I'm not going to enjoy the season. I'm sure I will. Just something I wanted to bring up.
It might be that, I mean, we've had, not counting Riders of Berk and Defenders of Berk, we've had 5 seasons. This would be make the 5th season of Race to the Edge now. Maybe they've just gotten better at actually advertising the show at this point, and they actually have a better grasp of what they should do and how they should advertise it. Granted,
Maybe.
what you're
Yep.
saying seems like a bit of a, they're doing a bit of misleading and maybe not getting as clear a message as they possibly could across, but as you two said before, I think this is probably one of the best trailers we've gotten from Race to the Edge thus far.
Yeah, no doubt. This is one of the best trailers for any show.
So maybe they've just learned how to better pace their trailers and better sell their jokes in the trailers.
Yeah, And
And that's why
actually,
this one feels
you know what? I'll
a
get to
little
it
off in that
when
way.
we get to that specific subject. But just another quick note I took while watching the trailer, and I just want to say it. Hiccup with both the Shield and Inferno is a badass picture.
Yeah. They finally decided
It's-
to put them in the same room together.
Yes. Which means something needs to happen to the Shield because, it's not in the second movie. Or maybe he just didn't pack it when he went exploring with Ruthless.
I mean,
He was rushing
know-
out of the home to get away from Stuix, so he forgot the Shield.
yeah, I saw someone else brought this up before, and I talked with them about this. My personal theory is that, in the movie we see Hiccup striving to be more like Toothless, be more like a dragon, right? So I would say, and the Shield, I would say it's less that something may happen to the Shield. The writers may have that plan. Something here, maybe the writers just kind of leave the Shield in the background and nothing ever comes or happens to it, really. I would say if they do that, then my opinion would be that's them saying that Hiccup eventually outgrows the Shield and moves on because, again, the Shield doesn't really help in that identity of being more like Toothless and being more like a dragon in general, right? The Shield is very much
in terms of
more
taming
human.
dragons, the Shield doesn't really do anything. It's just self-defense.
Mm-hmm. Now,
Inferno,
Inferno, however, it has more, it's a flaming sword. It can spit out
that's
Zippo
actually
pack
something.
gas.
That's actually something they could still explain. We saw how Inferno came to be in terms of the flaming blade, but we didn't really see how he came up with the idea of putting
there's still a lot of the
gas
design.
in
There's still a lot of the design that we've not exactly seen him get into yet, and I think we'll probably, considering how much Inferno is in the trailer alone, I think we'll definitely be seeing more of Inferno and maybe another episode, and maybe a portion of an episode or an entire episode devoted to it again, which I'm fine with.
Yeah, should be cool. Let me think. Is there anything else?
Well,
Do you guys
we'll
have
save
anything?
that for
I would like to
Let's go
talk
through.
about the death song coming back,
yes,
and
yes.
Yeah.
And including with the previous, let's also remember what happened in the previous trailers.
well,
as well.
not just that. Let's talk about how the death song apparently looks very beaten up, very scarred.
Yeah, it looks like
It's not been doing too well.
he's been through some stuff. Let's.
Quite a lot, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see what's up with that. Any thoughts?
Probably another hunter attacked dragon.
Could be.
He fell into lava. Maybe.
If that's what lava does, then I think we need to really look at what lava does.
Well,
Yeah,
dragons are
jeez,
fire.
holy crap! I never paused it. This guy's
The right-
effed up.
Yeah,
Dang.
he looks rough, very rough indeed. But if that's what lava does, then I think we need to have a sit down with the writers and explain to them how lava works exactly.
Lava is very sharp and pointy.
Mm-hmm. Apparently so.
Well,
it could be hunters.
dragon-
It could be
dragons
something to do
are
with one of our new
fireproof.
dragons, maybe as well.
It could be the other death song, baby. One of them fought each
And-
other. I don't know.
And you know something. I have a theory, and it's a joke theory. Don't read too much into it. And notice that in the frame, like we know Hiccup is there from the previous trailer, but let's assume he isn't. Okay, and it's just the dead song and Astrid.
No, Hiccup's to the right.
Yeah, I just said let's ignore this for a second, for the sake of the joke.
I can't. Your
And
jokes are horrible.
remember how we kind of agreed in that musical episode that Astrid was the weakest singer.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
after all this time he came for revenge.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Why'd you make me listen to you?
Who knows? Maybe. But I'm.
All right, I admit that was a good joke.
I'm pausing at the dead song itself. When he looks beat up, it looks like axes or swords cut through it.
Yeah, it definitely looks like cut, so it probably was the hunters, but it could also be claws from a dragon as
Yeah,
well.
But it
But
could also be lava.
it could also be lava.
For the love of God, I
Definitely.
make one joke and they push it too far.
Anyway,
But I mean, pointing this out, this is definitely something that's a little bit unique for the show because up until this point, we've seen a few dragons like from the hunters who were scarred up here and there, but
scarred up. Yeah.
not to this degree, and this looks
More
way more
fresh.
recent.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why
So
I'm
this
thinking
is-
it's more of another dragon. But it's very possible that it was the hunters. One thing that I do want to point out, that's what I was saying when I was mentioning the other trailer. In the other trailer, first and foremost, there's Hiccup and Astrid together, which I'm pretty sure is, if you guys are at like 1 minute 11 seconds or somewhere around there, I'm pretty sure the very next scene is them pulling out the Inferno and the axe, which they had in the original trailer. But there's also some point, I can't remember where I saw it, where Hiccup is actually with the death song, like after the hand touch or something, like training the death song. Do you guys remember that, or am I crazy?
In
both.
the previous trailer,
Yes.
I don't recall as of now. I need to rewatch it.
Not right offhand, though. I don't.
It's alright, I'm fine being crazy for now until you guys confirm otherwise.
You can
or
be
both.
crazy.
As long as it's both, I'll be fine with both. Hey.
I'm looking for it now, and
That's the trailer that's on
oh,
Netflix.
come on, John, come on. Sorry, I'm talking to a YouTube personality who just uploaded something I need to see.
Is it John
So,
Tron?
no, it's some call me Johnny.
Anyway, but this
He's
is
the-
this
Moving
is the
on.
Anyway, I'm
trailer
looking
on
for this right now.
yeah,
On
it's a trailer
to
on
our
Netflix.
show.
And season 5 trailer.
Just go to Netflix. It's on Netflix.
Yeah, don't have Netflix. And also, like I said, Netflix over here doesn't have the show. Anyway,
Ripper, sorry.
okay, let's see. Still going through the trailer. Meanwhile, talk while I research this. When did you say it is?
I don't know when it is in the other trailer.
Because I just saw the ending bit with the dead song and then Hiccup and Astrid pulling out their weapons.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying I'm saying that's that's probably right after the scene that we were talking about in this trailer, the current one.
Yeah.
But I was saying that I can't remember where, but there was some place, maybe it was a promotional picture or something with Hiccup trying to train the death song. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't recall seeing it, but maybe I missed it.
Please help me, viewers. I don't want to be crazy. Well,
Yeah.
maybe I do.
Yeah, in the comments, tell us if Rush is right. But anyway, anything else before we move on to the big one?
Looking at that old trailer, though, it does look like being able to see it in higher quality. It does look like we get to see more of Inferno's design, and it looks like Inferno's design has definitely changed from what we first saw when we last saw it, which was
Don't
basic.
you remember when Hiccup and Fishleys were geeking out about it?
Yeah, I know that, but it still had a basic pommel at that time. Now it looks like the pommel has
Those are the
changed
black
somewhat to be
guys.
more like
Like
The
how
one
it
that we
is in the
see
second movie.
Yeah,
in the second movie. It's getting there. It's not quite there yet, but it's getting there.
true.
Mm-hmm.
All right, on to the big one.
Okay, guys.
Wait.
so
Sorry, hold on. Before that, just want to. No. I just watched to the very end of the trailer, and I almost forgot to mention this. I believe Thor Bonecrusher returns. If that's not apparent to you guys, right?
Yeah, well, you may now applaud.
All right.
But that's not Thor Bone Crusher. That's obviously fish legs.
Yes. Anyway, jokes aside, but yeah, that was just a side thing. Sorry, I want to get that. Now we can move to the big one because we really
You
don't
know,
like Thor Bonecrusher.
one thing I do want to point out about is that after he says, you may now applaud, we can see Toothless is like, Kilo. What?
Anyway,
Excuse me? Yeah, like, it's like, what the hell is he talking about?
yeah, really.
I mean, to prolong
Toothless sass is always good.
the big moment for the big reveal, a little bit longer. It does look like this return of Thor Bonecrusher might be from fish legs falling off of Meatlug, since we do see that happen in the trailer, and
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
he hits his
Yeah.
head
Good point.
and loses
Good
his
point.
memory, and so Thor Bonecrusher comes back out because reasons. I mean, I'm not upset to see Thor Bonecrusher again. He was a fun character for the one episode he was around, so it'll be interesting to see more of him.
Yeah, I guess.
Probably.
All right.
Probably.
It depends what they'll do with it. But anyway, it's the big one. So apparently, people who dissected this trailer, and I mean really dissected it, they went over all the footage with a magnifying glass. Probably said that we can see bits and pieces of Vigo in the trailer, which means Vigo may have survived the fall into the lava. Now, like I told Wolf before we started recording, why is it that when villains fall into lava, they can survive if the franchise is focused on dragons? I am referencing Spyro the Dragon 2 and that god-awful Spyro 4 for those who are wondering.
Well, let's not forget Anakin from Star Wars.
But it's not a dragon.
Neither is Vigo.
You know what I mean. Star Wars doesn't focus on dragons.
Actually, you'd be surprised. There are dragons in the Star Wars mythos, if you will.
Yeah, but it's
I
not the
will
focus.
not. Yeah, I mean, if you look at that second picture, Vigo does that with his arms a lot, putting them behind his back.
Mhm. He does.
It looks like he's bald in that picture. That's something I pointed out, but
You
hey,
fell-
maybe lava
so you
did
fell
burn
into
him.
a lava. There are three options. One, you burn to death. Two, you will jump up with your ass burning comedically. Or three, you will be bald because your hair got burned and
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's possible. But on another thing in that picture that Wolf sent, the first one, just a little bit before, the dragon eye is also there. So, I mean, that makes it all the more reason to believe that it is Vigo, because he was the closest one to the dragon eye. And I put this theory out there that the dragon eye makes more sense that it would survive, since it's built, for the whole idea of using the dragons to navigate around. And it would be fireproof and lava-proof. I mean, there's really no reason to believe that it would melt in fire or lava. I mean, it could be built of a super hard material and stuff like that.
I mean, considering how much the dragon hunters use from the dragons in their own stuff, if you
Yeah.
will, it's not surprising that it would survive. I think
It's also
the
not
question,
surprising if they have a second one anywhere else. Like, why is there just one of these?
possibly.
that's a very. But if there was a second one the whole time, then why the hell would Vigo want to steal
Kinda
it from
defeats the
Hiccup?
Yeah,
the
I
whole
know.
point there as well. This is the master key.
It wasn't
if you
ready.
will,
It
then.
wasn't ready.
No, it does
This
make
is the
sense.
Master Key
Actually,
Dragon Eye.
it does make sense that there's only one left, because when they found it very first episode, it was like with some dead hunters. So it seems like it's a very old artifact. And there's like, that's the only one remaining.
Yeah. Anyway,
This does-
one other thing I want to say about Vigo. Actually, when I posted a post on Tumblr regarding this, where me and Wolf talked about this before recording, Leffy actually brought up a point where, man, this guy's name will be the death of me. What's his name again?
Krogan.
Krogan. As we saw in the previous season, he can apparently glide and fly and stuff, so maybe he just happened to be at the volcano and he flew there when Vigo all of a sudden landed on his back.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Krogan.
I mean, Thor Bonecrusher can fly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And do many other wonderful and amazing things.
The wonderful things about Thor's
Guys,
Yeah,
bad news. It just going back to the Dragon Eye real quick. It looks like Heather still has her Dragon Eye events on her belt.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
people still talked about it, that if the Dragon Eye is destroyed, then
It's
we
yeah.
will never know what's on those lenses. But if it survived, we
People have
Also,
you know.
definitely been wanting an answer to
But
that
you know
yeah.
question.
something. But you know something. I just thought about something, that if the Dragon Eye is made of something that resists fire, and so Vigo must have known about this, so we wouldn't freak out when Hiccup actually threw it into the lava at the end of the last season.
I mean, being resistant to fire is not the same thing as being doused
Lava.
in lava and not being
Yeah,
able to get it back yourself, you know.
yeah,
The dragon eye might be able to sit in lava and be fine, but his hand, maybe not.
yeah. I mean, you
Good
never
point.
know. Well,
But
they're
hey, if
going to
it,
explain it for sure. But whether
yeah,
we
I
like the
hope they will,
explanation or not,
because
if they don't, like that's where I draw the line. I'm still gonna like the
yeah.
probably like the
Do
season
we
and like
see?
it, but
I didn't actually notice it. Do we see the dragon eye itself in this trailer?
yeah.
Or
No.
So
no?
look, no, we do. We see the head of it. If you
Okay.
look right, not the full, but if you look at that first picture you took of Krogan, like with Vigo's hair behind him, right before Krogan leans
Yeah,
forward,
but
you see
that's
the front
exactly
of the
my
Dragon
point.
Eye.
But that's exactly my point. We don't see it as
The whole thing,
like,
yes, but
yeah, we don't see the whole thing. As far as we know, it could just be a handle of some or
but that's
something
the
that
whole
looks like
idea.
it.
That's the whole idea of being a teaser trailer. Like they're like, "Ooh,
Hmm.
is it?" And it probably is, right? Like, I mean, they're doing a lot better this season than last season, where it's like,
Oh, hey,
did
Dagger's
yeah,
alive.
exactly. Did Dagger survive? It's like just his face right there. That was beautiful, man. Oh, there he is. Another side note, by the way, um, the scene where they have the whole everybody minus now for some reason charging. That looks like it's at the former kill ring at Burke. Just
Yeah,
want to point
It
that out.
looks similar, yeah.
It looks similar. Anyway,
yeah, that's actually another question before we go back to the Vigo thing. How much do you think we'll see of Belk?
I think we'll see a decent bit, especially with all the fire going on.
Burke might be
Hey,
on fire too. Who knows?
Everything's on
Shh.
fire.
I
Share the
guess you
love.
can say I guess you can say
Think
this season
fire
will
is.
be lit. Yeah.
All right, where's the hang up button?
Ooh.
You're asking me?
Yeah, it's because I want to kick you out.
Back to the.
Hey. Hey.
Hmm.
What's up?
Moving on. Back to the Vigo and Krogan thing.
Yeah.
This brings
But
up
you
an
know,
interesting.
but you know something. If one of the two brothers, Vigo or Riker, if only one could make it into this next season, wouldn't it make more sense to have Riker be the one to come back? I mean, let's be honest. He could survive the situation he was in. You know, I'm not saying anyone can do it, but in terms of considering the fact that this is a
Survivability out
cartoon,
of both situations, Riker had more chance to survive.
yes.
But in terms of survival, not
terms
looking at
of-
it in terms.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
In
looking
ter-
at it in terms of survivability, but looking at it in terms of who would, which of them has more to gain after going, or which of them has more of a want to go after Hiccup and the rest of the
Yeah,
riders.
there are two reasons as to why Vigo will be want to come back. One, fan popularity, and two, Alpha Manila is very expensive and we need to use it.
I was about to say that. I thought you were gonna say two. He's a good villain, but I was gonna say third reason Alfred Molina. But no, you already covered that for me.
Oh, not even counting that into, not even looking at that as well. Looking at just the, story-wise and character-wise, like, Riker doesn't have much of a will or want to go after the Dragon Riders, to go after the rest, to go after Hiccup or the Riders. If he can get by with them, with his brother dead, and if they stop bothering him, then he has no reason to go after them. He'll just continue on the business. Vigo has more of a direct challenge to Hiccup himself, right? I mean,
It's
that's
now an
exactly how
obsession.
a lot of this started off. Yeah, it turned into an obsession, I would say. I agree.
Yeah,
So,
what started as
It makes
like
more
some,
sense for him to come after the Riders still.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So-
actually something that at the beginning, Vigo saw Hiccup as more of like a new, interesting challenge, one that one that actually makes him think and
Yep.
plan some stuff that have very high chances of failing. But as we discussed, what did I want to say? So, and notice that in the previous season, he was already starting to get annoyed with Hiccup. Like, it's like, okay, it was fun while it lasted. Now you're just annoying me. I want you gone.
Mm-hmm.
And considering how they last and the latest encounter, when we thought Vigo was dead, and maybe he still is, we don't know. If he comes back, he has a reason to go after Hiccup. But that's another question I want to bring up. Let's say that Krogan, got his name right finally, is now leading the Dragon Hunters. Why would Vigo be his, for lack of a better term, sidekick? Like, why let Krogan take charge? Unless it's some kind of a plan to make sure Hiccup doesn't know he's alive and catch him off guard.
Again, I personally don't think Krogan is leading the Dragon Hunters per se.
Yeah.
But even, taking that into account, this may be none of the Dragon Hunters are willing to listen to Vigo anymore.
You fell into love and came back. I don't trust you. What is this wizardry?
Not just that, like when we saw at the end, of last season, he was pretty much on his own. Riker had taken everything from him, and
Yep.
they were fighting against one another as well. And that wasn't actually a trick or a plot. That was them legitimately. They were against each other. They had turned on one another.
Yep.
So, and Vigo had lost everything. So it stands to reason that the Dragon Hunters probably have new leaders or are running themselves now. And they have no need or want for Vigo anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So this might be his way of getting back at Hiccup for him losing everything, and this also might be his way to gain back control of the Dragon Hunters as well.
Probably. Well, there are a lot of directions this can go, and honestly, I can already see us talking for on and on next time about
Something that I
how-
want to say before we end, though, on the Vigo and Krogan thing, them potentially bringing Vigo back, I feel brings up an important point that I think needs to be made and possibly could be talked about, is that with Vigo coming back, do the writers, and them trying to introduce Krogan as a new villain, do the writers feel that Krogan isn't strong enough to stand on his own? Is that why they brought Vigo back? Because they felt like Krogan wasn't strong enough to stand on his own as a villain, and they weren't sure he could handle it by himself
I'm
in
not
terms
sure.
of writing and story.
You know how I said last time, and probably mentioned that a few other times, that the previous season's finale felt like a series finale before they knew they got renewed. Like this was supposed to be the last big hurrah to the show. So I have this theory that maybe Krogan was a last-minute thing, which they threw into the season into previous season in order to just throw that one plot point in there that okay, we know we're making another season now, so let's.
But he was in season 2, remember?
Yeah.
He was at the auction. No, he was in season.
Krogan was in season 2.
I think it was season 2. Yeah.
The auction was at 3, I think.
Yeah, it was 3. It was when they lost the gold. It was 3. I'm pretty sure.
Well, either way, I would say season 3 was probably well underway before they knew they were getting an increase in seasons from 4 to 6.
Yeah. Well,
So,
by the time
I don't think
by the
Krogan
time it
was
was
thrown
announced-
in
Yeah, but
as an afterthought.
Yeah, but here's the point I'm bringing up. They renewed the series for these other 2 seasons between season 3 and 4 of Race to the Edge. So go figure. Maybe in 3 they just had him there because in season 3, as far as I remember, we didn't really see him. It was just the hooded man. We didn't even know his name back then. But so he could have just been there, and people always assumed he was Drago and stuff. So maybe he was just supposed to be an Easter egg or something. Again, I could be completely wrong. I'm just speculating here.
I'm with Wolf in saying that you're completely wrong.
Legit. But yeah, like a lot of theories, someone can always find a flaw. So, so I don't know. Maybe they do think that he can't hold on his own. I have no idea, but that's something that we'll have to wait and see when the season comes out, I guess. And also, another thing, if Vigo does come back, who knows how early? That clip where everyone says, "Oh, Vigo's back," and that could very well be the season finale for all we know.
Very much so could.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, there's always the chance that if Vigo's back, Riker could still always come back as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We've proven,
Also, something and because if you guys notice, there's sort of a trend with the rest of the Earth seasons that season 1 was a lot more filler, less plot. Season 2 was a lot plot, less filler. Season 3, a lot of filler, less plot. And season 4, a lot of plot, less filler. So, what do you guys think? It's just throw guesses in the air. Do you think it will be more story or filler?
Probably more story this time around, looking at it, yeah. Looking at, patterns, by the way, just want to point out, Alvin, our first villain, possibly, he was killed by Dagger on screen, came back at the very end of Riders of Berk or Defenders of Berk. Dagger, killed, brought back. Vigo, killed, potentially brought back again.
Yeah, but
by the way, Dagger and Alvin both became quote-unquote good guys after they were brought back from the dead. So, just keeping that in mind. And we still have Riker as a villain who could potentially be brought back. So, and again, that's 2 villains who could potentially be brought back. One of them we're fairly certain has been brought back, and we've already set the precedent with this show that whenever a villain is brought back, generally they become good. So,
well, when the entire last season's finale was about, is Vigo reformed? There was this question mark hovering about the entire thing. But another thing I do want to point out, let's assume they don't really explain how Vigo survived last season. Again, just an explanation. And so, actually, you know what? Okay, rephrase. Wolf just said Dagger was supposedly killed, came back. Although we didn't, it could have been. A lot of people made an argument that he may not be dead back then, like Wolf himself, actually. But Dagger was supposedly killed, came back. Vigo supposedly killed, came back. Why can't Stuart get another shot? I mean, come on.
Oh, he already got a shot. That's why.
Oh, for the love of God, Rush! For the love of God!
You set it up.
To be fair to Vigo and Dagger and Alvin, their deaths happened technically off screen. Alvin was underwater when he was supposedly killed, and the only thing we saw was dead fish rising up to the surface. Dagger, all we saw was a dagger sinking to the bottom of the ocean. Vigo, we saw him running after the dragon's eye. It goes off of the cliff edge over into lava, and we see nothing but lava, and we see no Vigo.
Yeah.
Stoic, however, we see Dead Stoic
it.
sitting there directly on screen and Hiccup crying over him, so don't think he gets a second chance.
Well, I won't think you get a second chance from falling into lava, but hey, what do I know?
Lava's not
I
hot.
never.
It's just very sharp. Remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why Vigo
Yeah.
hair, he looks bald. He just got a haircut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably. Well, you know something? I also thought that Vigo was such a badass villain. Yeah, like, and basically, if he had died at that moment, would you imagine any badass villain dying in an equivalent of a Wile E. Coyote skit? Like, I need to catch it. Oh no.
It'd be funny.
Yeah. Like he pulls out the sign, like, oh no, and then he falls.
I would laugh.
Somebody Photoshop that. That would be awesome. But anyway, anything else you guys want to talk about? After all, we talked about this not even 2 minute long trailer for about an hour now.
An hour and 1 minute, according to my recording time.
Well, good on us. Good on us. So we still got it.
Yep.
Okay, so any last notes before we close and look forward to the new season in 1 week?
Oop.
It looks like it's going to be an interesting one, and I'm excited to see it.
Absolutely.
Same.
Excitedly reserved to see it.
Screw that. I'm super excited.
I try not to get too hyped up.
All about the hype train, I guess.
Always
Even-
excited.
Well, so I guess the only way to really close this off is to say that this was us talking about the trailer. We made a few predictions, and let's try and remember them for next week so that we could see who was wrong, who was right, and for fun's sake.
Rush was all right. HC and Wolf were all wrong. Wow.
Yeah.
If Rush has that much luck, he should go play the lottery.
If Rush had that much luck, he
Go
would
when I buy
have gotten
solar
all
glasses.
of his self predictions right, which wasn't really the case.
Anyway.
I win, good sir. But anyway,
Yeah. Sure you did.
but yeah, like I said, since Race to the Edge is not on my local Netflix, I'll try my best to watch the new episodes by next in time for the recording. I managed to do that last time, but just in case, maybe it will be a day late. Just letting you guys know, and my fellow casters as well, so that I'll let you guys know.
All right.
Okay, so until next time and until the next season of Race to the Edge, I was HC,
I was Rush.
And I've been Wolf.
and we will talk to you all next time. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.